So finally, the Trial Lawyer of the Year award goes to a very deserving person who's also very impressive, as we all know. Sarah Graziano is here with her family and friends, and I'll let you do some introductions. But I would like to thank her for being here. She was nominated by Tina Bell. Unfortunately, Tina is not here today. But I would like to invite John Hensley up to introduce Sarah.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Sarah, for asking me to do this. I'm truly honored. It's truly my honor and my privilege to be here to award such a remarkable person and a talented person to such a deserving award. Sarah, you embody the essence of what this award stands for. The work that you do is inspiring. You know, what you do for your clients, what you have done for your team, you have forever changed some of your clients' lives. The work that you've done this past year is nothing short of remarkable. I've never seen anyone work as hard, be as committed to the right thing. So impressed by that. You overcome obstacles, you do things that others say you shouldn't, do things that others say you couldn't, all in the name of doing what is right. And I am so impressed by that. You spend countless hours in your preparation. You invest so much in your clients. They know you. You care for them. You want to change their lives. So many times, people have told you no. They've shut you down. They told you you couldn't. They told you you shouldn't. You are a courageous warrior. You do the right thing. You lock in. You don't let up until you do what you need to do, and I appreciate that. You are the definition of a trial lawyer. I've known you for many years. We went to law school together. You've had nothing but opportunities, and you've taken that opportunities and you've made the most of it. And I am so impressed by that. The work that you do helps us, helps our firm, and helps all of our profession. You are an inspiration, a valued teammate, and a good friend. It's truly my privilege to present ITLA's Trial Lawyer of the Year. Well deserved.
As Sarah makes her way to the stand, I'm going to read the award. It says, Indiana Trial Lawyers Association Trial Lawyer of the Year, presented to Sarah J. Graziano for distinguished service to the citizens of Indiana and the United States as a leading member of the Indiana Trial Bar and dedication to the preservation of the rights of the injured under the laws of the state of Indiana and the United States of America, November 6, 2023. Sarah, pleased to present you with this award. Thank you.
Well, I've known John since 1996, as we met in Valparaiso, and most of the time we fight like we're brother and sister, and a lot of people in the firm know that. But he has been a remarkable person to not only work with, but he has become a great friend. It's been 27 years since we met, and I was 2 years into my practice, and I was a defense lawyer. Don't shoot me now, but I was a defense lawyer, and I worked for a great firm. It was Good and Craigie at the time. And those guys were such a good group of trial lawyers. And so John calls me and says, hey, I'm going to expand my PI practice. Are you in? And he says, before you answer, you're going to have to take a pay cut. You're probably going to work longer hours than you've ever worked, working harder than you are, but I think we can get this off the ground. I decided that I needed to make the leap because as much as I loved the people that I worked for on the defense side, I never felt like it was my calling. Spending days as a defense lawyer trying to figure out how to screw somebody was not the way I wanted my career to go. But more importantly, what I realized, and I realize every single day, is that people that choose lawyers, depending on who they choose, is depending on how much insurance companies will pay them. And so people that try cases and fight and lobby, they end up doing better for their clients. And I felt like this is what we need to do. This is what I need to do in my career, is to figure out to be one of those people that they can truly trust to get the best for their clients. So, John, thank you. I mean, it's been a journey. We've had our ups and downs, but I would never have wanted to be on this journey without you. Katrina Hildebrandt is here, and people probably don't hear Katrina's name very often. She is not a litigator by choice. I think she had a small claims case when we were very young. We had about 3 lawyers in the firm, and she had to go into small claims. She vomited before she went into small claims court. So litigation was not her calling. But she has been with the firm over 25 years. She started as a law clerk, and she has been with us every step of the way. And it's so incredibly valuable what you do for the firm and the backside. So thank you for sharing this with me today. So Trial Lawyer of the Year, when I didn't even know I wanted it until Tina called me and said, I'm nominating you for it. And of course, I hate losing anything. So at that point, I really wanted it. So I thought, how do we do this? But as a young lawyer, I saw individual after individual get nominated and then get the award. And I thought, could I do that someday? Could that be me? And to stand up here in front of all these people that have helped me over the years, numbers of phone calls and emails and everything that I do, if I don't know something, I can call somebody, to be recognized by those individuals to say, we feel like, Sarah, you are a warrior in the courtroom, so we want to honor you with our vote. And I thought, okay, great. Now how do we win this thing? Like, how do we do this? And then Jason Bell called. And Eileen and Jen were in my office. These are my right hand, because without our team, we can't do any of it. And I was thrilled. I was speechless. And I didn't even know how to celebrate it at that point in time. So then Christina in our office, before anybody else knows, before I call John, before I call Patrick, who's my partner, she sends the email out to the firm. And so, but it was great. It was good to know, because Christina's been with us a long time. So, but one of the things I will say is none of us do this for awards or accolades or, to be part of the limelight. We do it because we love our clients and we believe that they are deserving of our hard work and our dedication and our sacrifices, and to stand up to bullies and give them a voice when they don't know how to give a voice. They don't know what to do or how to do it. And so that's why we do it. That's what keeps me going every single day. And so there are so many people that have helped me along the way, but there are a few that I call on often, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about them. And I'm sure that most people in this room, when I say the next name, have the same experience I have, is Lee Christie. You have been invaluable to my career. You have been a mentor so long. I had a couple of defense cases with Lee, and we all know he's the easiest guy in the world to work with. I would like to think he didn't take advantage of my inexperience when I was 2 years out. I don't know if he did or if he didn't. But when I switched over to the plaintiff's side, Lee was nothing but a cheerleader. He helped me with everything. Anytime I called, he made time for me, and I bet everybody in this room has a very similar experience with Lee. So thank you, my friend, for everything you've done. I appreciate you. There's a couple other, I don't know if Scott Faultless is here today. Man, that guy is brilliant. So anytime I need to legal maneuver something, I call Scott, because he always has a case or has something. So he's been invaluable as well. Jay Hoffman, are you here? No. Well, you can just tell him I talked about him. So Jay, I saw him speak about 10 years ago, and I thought, who is this guy? I didn't know who he was. And he was so captivating, and he's so giving. And so I've kind of followed him, and he's been great to me over the years. But there's other people, Bob Johnson, Travis Jensen, Judge Altice, Kate Frankie, Tina Bell. Where is Betsy Green? Betsy, oh my gosh, Betsy, you're just a warrior for all of us, especially for women. So thank you all for everything you've done for us as an organization, for us as women in the law, because sometimes we know it's not as easy to be someone that's a fighter in that courtroom, because we get labeled a lot of different things that men don't. So thank you for being that warrior, all of you. It is really hard to talk in front of people you respect and care about. So Amy Pardick is also somebody that changed my life about 5 years ago. I started doing focus groups with Amy, and I have changed entirely how I try cases and how I look at cases and how I help clients. Focus group with her if you have a case. She will change your life and she will change your client's life. So Amy, I owe a lot to because she's blunt, which I appreciate, but it also changed everything that we did moving forward and how we look at cases. And then there's my team. I could not do what I do without the team we have. Eileen Archie, I want you to stand up, please. We don't know what we're going to do when she goes on maternity leave. We told her she's one and done because we can only do this one time. But Eileen Archie is the behind-the-scenes person, and she makes me a better lawyer. She is amazing and helps us get cases ready for trial. She has just been a godsend. Jen Rizzer, I know you're taping this, but you need to stand up too. Jen is also, she joined us about 2 years ago, and she helps Eileen when Eileen has too much on her plate. And she's tried a couple cases with me, and one of them from last year that I think was talked about in the nomination. And then there's Spencer. Some people know Spencer. Spencer really stepped out of litigation about 8 years ago, but he is the person that manages all of us, and he is always my number one cheerleader. Go do it, Graz, or go do it, SG. That's what they call me at work. And so thank you for all you've done. It's been a pleasure to work with you. So he's supposed to be my manager, but I don't really talk to him like a manager. Yeah. And all the litigation attorneys in our firm, you inspire me every day to be better and do better so we can be better. So thank you all for all that you do. Kelly, we just tried a case, really tough loss, but we just tried a case together, so thank you all. And there's Patrick. Took me a long time to find a person that could tolerate me because I'm so easy to get along with. But I didn't even know I wanted it 6 years ago when him and I met. He is by far the kindest, most loving person that I've ever had in my life. I didn't know that I wanted it. I'm not sure I was ready for you back then, but I think the universe was telling me different. When I told him about this award, he was incredibly proud and just overjoyed. You make my heart and my face smile every single day, and I'm so glad to have you by my side, and I'm glad you came today. So thank you, honey. Sometimes they are unsung heroes, right? Because they know the sacrifice, and they're a big part of the sacrifice when you can't spend time with them or do what they do, or just get out of the room. I cannot talk to you right now. But he's very tolerant, so I appreciate you. I think the award is often about our trial successes and not necessarily about our trial losses. But I feel like my trial losses have shaped me more as an individual. They build character, and as a trial lawyer. So we've had some great success the last couple years, there's no question. Obviously, the Lucas family, the one I tried with Chris, talk about a passionate human being. So the verdict, we had to fight tooth and nail. They changed firms on the other side more than once, and then we fought this case through and through and worked really hard. It was a young man that had a severe TBI. His IQ was very low, of a 9-year-old. That's what he was going to be the rest of his life, so he was going to need care for the rest of his life. It was a beautiful family. They had come over from the Dominican Republic. They were wanting to have a better life, and they were building it when he got T-boned by an ambulance, speeding down the roadway, not on an emergency run. They were just killing time. He was in a coma for many, many months and came out of it. And after speech therapy, occupational therapy, and months of therapy, he was as good as he was going to get. He was never going to be able to live on his own. He was a beautiful young man, still is. They are very precious clients to us, and when we got the verdict back, we would have settled the case for a lot less than the verdict. And when the verdict came back, it was amazing. Obviously, it was life-changing for them and for us as well. But Chris, the client had to console Chris afterwards, but that's how passionate he was, that's how much he cared. And to work with someone like that, it was amazing. So thank you, Chris, for all that you give as well. And then there was the Gonzalez case that we tried. Man, that defense lawyer was unrelentless on liability. And we ended up getting 100 against the defendant and 0 to us. So that was a huge victory, but it was another client of ours that I feel people would not have stood up for him because he was here and he came over and he had broken English. And so we stood up for him and got a great verdict. But those successes were great and I loved them, but we had 2 tough losses this year. And so one of them, we fought for the client. We felt the offer was low, so we went in and fought. We barely broke even. Those sting very much. And then we had another case that we just ended about 2 weeks ago. And we fought for this client because we felt like it was the right thing to do. I think we went in knowing we were going to lose on liability, or likely going to lose most often. But we did it anyway, and we stood up for them. And what we did for that family to give them a voice is why we do what we do. It is such an honor that we get to do this for individuals every single day and to give them a voice. And I am privileged to do it, and I feel like it's my honor that I get to work every single day doing this. So thank you all for the votes, for the nomination, and I will never forget this. It's truly one of the highlights of my career. So thank you.